Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first episode of Chris Talks, a new series where I, Chris, am going to talk about different things that interest me, mostly video games and technology, but also politics and other news like that. Up today is the HTC Vive. Many gamers have awaited this headset. Many gamers have awaited eagerly to hear the price, specifically of this headset. A lot of rumors existed before the final price was announced today to be $800, which was quite a bit more than most people I think would have expected maybe a few weeks earlier. But now, after the Oculus Rift came out and it was announced to be $600, a lot of people initially kind of got angry about it, myself included. Because it kind of felt like HTC or the Oculus Rift was going to be this sort of unifying. It was going to bring VR to the masses. The developer version didn't cost nearly that much, and it seemed like the dream of affordable VR was not going to be attainable to a lot of people, and that got a lot of people down. So I think that really drove the Oculus Rift pre-orders, at least initially, really down. But Oculus seems to be recovering from that, and HTC perhaps was probably waiting for Oculus to announce its price to be $600 because the HTC Vive, as announced today at the Mobile World Congress, where they held a press conference and announced the $799 price tag, and that is without tax and shipping. The HTC Vive, unlike the Oculus Rift, has a superior, not only a head tracking system, but a motion tracking system called Lighthouse, and it uses these things called lighthouses, which initially looked really bad because they didn't really have a cover on it, but now they're just sleek, glossy black boxes that emit basically a grid of lasers around your room that scans the X, Y, and the X, basically volumetric scanning with lasers, and there's a bunch of sensors on the headset that use that positioning to kind of tell where you are in a virtual space. And along with that, it also there's this thing called the chaperone system that actually lets you map out the boundaries of the room that you're in, and a lot of games are going to use this system to dynamically adjust the size of your 3D space. Now, I, for one, I'm not sure quite where to stand on this whole issue yet. I think that the VR headsets initially are going to cost a lot, and that's just honestly because they can. A lot of them are thinking they can recoup the costs of development pretty quickly, and then once the ball gets rolling on that, everything else is just profit. HTC is a company, they're a large company. I really don't think they needed to recoup the costs. I think they would have sold a lot more units had they kept the price lower, at least $600. But if they would have gone $500, $400, this really could have been an amazing opportunity for them to undercut everyone else and really just take the whole market and probably drive Oculus out of the market, at least initially here. But a lot of people are also saying that this is not so bad. The HTC Vive, along with the Lighthouse tracking system and the Chaperone system, includes a camera on the front of the device that lets you supposedly like see your friends in the room. It can detect objects and eventually probably even faces. Who knows what people are going to do with this software, especially if they decide to open it up to modders and people like that. But the HTC Vive also comes with two motion tracking, like kind of hand tracking controllers, which the Oculus does not. So I think for a lot of games where developers want to really have a truly 3D space, or games like Job Simulator, for example, which, by the way, at least for now, if you pre-order it, pre-orders start February 29th. If you pre-order it, they're going to bundle Job Simulator, which is my personally most anticipated VR experience from what I've seen so far. And Fantastic Contraption are going to be bundled with the HTC Vive, and those are probably going to be around $60 each if I had to guess. So that's probably a $120 value tacked on there too. That is if you wanted to buy the games. So definitely the HTC Vive has a lot more going for it, at least in the hardware department. But the Oculus has a lot of support that it's built up through the years of just how long it's the developer version has been out. A lot of open source programs, though that has to go to the Vive because Vive supports OpenVR and that's all integrated with Steam VR. They've been excellent in cooperating with the community, and Palmer Luckey on Twitter actually caused quite a bit of controversy a while ago before they announced the price of the Oculus Rift. He was kind of criticizing OpenVR, saying it didn't have the right support, and that it was just an inferior way of doing things, that everyone should be using the Oculus Rift. And obviously, people didn't like that because that meant that they'd have to use his proprietary system. And I think we all know, NVIDIA and their proprietary systems, AMD cards suffer. So people didn't want that same kind of rift, ironically, to exist between the Oculus and the HTC headsets. And I think that's a good thing that at least but both of them seem to be compatible with a lot of different games. But it'll be interesting to see which headset takes hold. Will it be the Rift because of its lower price, and that's about all it has going for it compared to the HTC Vive, or will the Vive with its motion tracking, superior motion tracking, or positional tracking in the room, and included controllers, and at least for now included games, take first place and get more pre-orders and a bigger user base as this new industry is kind of born here. It's really interesting to be living in this time where the first of its kind consumer true virtual reality headsets are becoming a thing. Yeah, definitely. I think that if I had the money, which I don't right now, to buy one of these headsets, it would definitely be the Vive. Not only because it has the full support of Steam, which I have something like 360 games on, most of which I've never even played. It has the backing of a lot of open source people, which God knows there's going to be a ton of games that come out open source. People that have limited time and budgets, or they don't want to have to use the Oculus only tools and APIs. They would rather use OpenVR than export it to both headsets. I think the Vive will be successful, but really only time will tell with these new systems, because it's all uncharted territory. So what do you guys think? Tell me in the comments what you guys predict for virtual reality in the future, and which headset you're going to buy if you're going to buy one. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. If you disliked it, give me a thumbs down. But of course, tell me any suggestions you might have in the comments below. And as always, thank you guys for watching.